Here's a truth most people never realize. The way others treat you often starts with how you treat yourself. That's the essence of Law 34. Act like a king to be treated like one.
This isn't about arrogance or superiority. It's about posture, self-image, presence. People believe what you project, and if you present yourself as powerful, competent, and composed, they follow suit.
Exactly. Royalty isn't about bloodline, it's about behavior, dignity, command. And Greene makes this clear. If you act small, if you accept crumbs, if you shrink to stay liked, you invite disrespect.
Because the world mirrors back what you put out. Act uncertain, and people question you. Speak weakly, and they talk over you. But if you carry yourself with self-respect and intention, you shift the energy in the room.
This law is about claiming space, without aggression, without begging. It's about radiating the kind of calm certainty that says, I don't need to convince you, I am.
And it works, because people are wired to respond to status cues, to hierarchy. Even if we pretend we're all equal, we instinctively gravitate toward those who stand like they belong.
We've all seen it. Two people walk into the same room. One fidgets, apologizes, keeps their head down. The other walks with calm, grounded posture. Same clothes, same background, different response.
The second person gets attention, not because they demand it, but because they carry it. That's the king energy Greene is talking about. Not loud, not flashy, but undeniable.
And here's the twist. It's not about faking confidence. It's about committing to the role. You teach others how to treat you by the standards you walk with.
So the question becomes, where are you shrinking? Where are you acting like a servant in your own life, waiting for permission?
Because if you wait for power to be given to you, it never comes. But when you act like you already own it, the world adjusts.
There's this unspoken rule in every room. People look for who's leading, even if no one was officially chosen. And the one who acts like they belong, that's usually who gets followed.
Right. And the power in that is subtle. It's not just about confidence, it's about expectation. Kings don't ask for validation. They move as if the world is already aligned with them.
And people sense that. Energy doesn't lie. Someone who enters with hesitation brings doubt with them, but someone who moves with inner certainty, that's magnetic.
Greene's point is that when you carry yourself like royalty, you establish a frame, a psychological territory. You set the tone, and others unconsciously step into it.
We see this in leadership all the time. The best leaders don't ask, is it okay if I lead? They lead, calmly, decisively, and the room adjusts.
And it's not about ego. In fact, the most powerful people are often the least reactive. They don't chase arguments. They don't explain themselves unnecessarily. They hold their ground.
And the irony is, when you stop chasing approval, people start offering it. When you stop proving your worth, they begin to assume it.
Because acting like a king isn't about being above others. It's about never placing yourself beneath them. It's about living in alignment with your value, whether or not the world agrees.
And that's where most people struggle. They wait to feel worthy before acting with authority. But this law flips it. Act first, and the feelings will follow.
Exactly. You earn your own respect by stepping into that energy. And once you do, it becomes harder for others to treat you like anything less.
So the practical side is this: posture, tone, presence. Speak with clarity, move with calm. Carry yourself like you have nothing to prove and everything to offer.
Because the world doesn't give power, it responds to it. And when you walk like a king, even before you have a crown, people treat you like you already wear one.
So let's bring this into relationships. Personal, professional, romantic, wherever there's interaction, there's power dynamics. And if you enter those dynamics unsure of your value, you give the other person the upper hand.
Exactly. And it's not even intentional on their part. It's instinctual. People mirror the energy you bring. If you treat yourself like a side character, they won't cast you as the lead.
This law is really about refusing to shrink. How many people dim their light just to keep the peace, or stay quiet to avoid being too much?
And that shrinking becomes a habit. You get used to apologizing for existing, for wanting more, for expecting to be respected. And the longer you do it, the harder it is to stand up again.
That's why Greene's advice is so bold. Act like a king, not like a servant waiting for instructions, not like a guest hoping not to overstay, like someone who belongs at the center of their own life.
And in business is huge. If you pitch an idea like it's fragile, people treat it like it's disposable. But if you present with clarity, conviction, and calm, you gain authority, even before the results come.
Same in negotiations. If you walk in afraid to lose, you already lost. But if you move with self-respect, not arrogance, but calm strength, you anchor the room.
And that's where presence matters more than words. You don't need to speak a lot to be respected. Sometimes a pause carries more weight than a paragraph.
So many people think respect is earned through proving, but more often it's earned through posture, through how you carry yourself when no one's clapping yet.
That's king energy, not because you dominate, but because you don't need to beg. You walk in knowing your worth, and the world adapts.
The shift is internal first. You stop negotiating with your own dignity. You stop apologizing for having standards, and you start walking like someone who's already chosen themselves.
Because when you act like a king, even quietly, people don't just treat you better, they rise to meet you.
One of the most powerful aspects of this law is that it works even when you say nothing. It's not always about the words. Sometimes it's just the energy you bring into a room.
Totally. A king doesn't walk in and shout, "Respect me." He just walks in, and people feel the difference. Not because he said anything, but because his presence spoke first.
And we've all felt that, right? You meet someone who doesn't brag, doesn't flex, but they carry themselves with calm assurance. You want to listen. You instinctively pay attention.
That's the essence of authority. It's not loud, it's not needy, it's centered. And most people never learn how to cultivate that because they're too busy trying to perform power instead of embodying it.
That's why Greene's advice is timeless. The outer world follows the inner script. If you see yourself as a king, not in ego but in essence, you behave differently. You don't chase, you don't flinch.
You don't engage in petty drama. You don't explain yourself to everyone. You don't lower your standards just to stay liked. That's real strength, and it's rare.
And that rarity is what creates presence, because when everyone else is hustling for attention, the one who doesn't stands out.
This doesn't mean you never compromise. It means you don't compromise your dignity. There's a difference.
And over time, that consistency builds something bigger than just image. It builds reputation. People start to associate you with clarity, calm, and high value, even when you're not around.
Because royalty isn't about money or clothes, it's about intention. You can wear a hoodie and still carry more presence than someone in a $1,000 suit if your mindset is aligned.
So the question is, what are you projecting even in silence? Are you shrinking, or are you standing in something deeper?
Because posture isn't just physical, it's psychological. And when you carry yourself like a king, people remember.
Let's be honest, acting like a king isn't always easy, especially if you don't feel like one. Self-doubt, imposter syndrome, fear of judgment, they all pull you back into shrinking.
Absolutely. This law isn't about pretending to be invincible. It's about choosing how you carry yourself, even when you're uncertain. That's real confidence, not the absence of doubt, but the refusal to bow to it.
Because confidence isn't something you wait for. It's something you decide on. You show up like someone who belongs, and your nervous system catches up.
And honestly, most powerful people you admire have felt like imposters, but they acted anyway. They stood up anyway. They projected presence until presence became natural.
It's like a switch. When you realize no one's going to hand you authority, you stop waiting. You step into it, not because you're faking, but because you're done playing small.
This law also isn't about being cold or untouchable. You can be kind and humble and still carry yourself with royal energy. The difference is in how you value your own space.
Exactly. You stop over-explaining. You stop lowering your expectations just to make others comfortable. You stop apologizing for taking up room.
And when people see that quiet, grounded self-respect, they don't question it because it's rare, and rare energy draws people in.
This also changes how you make decisions. A king doesn't make choices from desperation. He chooses from alignment, not approval.
And he doesn't tolerate chaos around him. He sets tone. He protects his focus, his standards, his time, not because he's rude, but because he respects his purpose.
That's one of the most powerful outcomes of this law. It reclaims your center. You stop reacting to the world and start moving from within.
And even when things go wrong, because they will, you don't collapse. You adjust, but you don't shrink. Because royalty doesn't mean perfection, it means posture, especially under pressure.
And that kind of posture, it's not just respected, it's followed.
So let's wrap this. This law, at its core, isn't about dominance. It's about dignity. It's about refusing to be treated as less than what you know you are.
Exactly. And not waiting for the world to give you permission to stand tall. You decide what role you play. The world reflects that back.
When you act like a king, steady, self-respecting, non-reactive, people sense it. They may not know why they defer, why they listen, why they hesitate to cross you, but they do.
Because posture creates perception, and perception shapes response. That's the cycle Greene is showing us. Your outer world starts with your inner stance.
And that's why playing small is so costly. You don't just lose opportunities, you invite treatment that reinforces your insecurity.
So if you want to shift your relationships, your business, your presence, stop waiting to feel ready. Start walking like you already carry value.
That doesn't mean faking success. It means embodying respect for your time, your words, your presence, your purpose.
And yes, there will be people who don't like it, who feel threatened when you stop shrinking. Let them. Their discomfort isn't your burden.
You weren't made to beg for approval. You were made to command your space. And when you do, when you walk like a king, act with intention, and hold your ground, people shift.
And more importantly, you shift. You start choosing differently, speaking differently, even thinking differently, because you're no longer waiting for someone to crown you. You crowned yourself.
That's the hidden power in this law, not control over others, but mastery of self. The kind of presence that changes rooms before you speak.
Next week, we go to a colder law, one that asks you to balance charm with strategy. Law 35. Master the art of timing.
Because even a king can lose everything if he moves too early or too late. Until then, ask yourself, where in your life have you been walking like a servant, and what would change if you stood like a king? Because when you believe you belong, others will too.